there is such a connection with the brain and pain. And I'm hoping that you could educate me more in relation to the phytocannabinoid and endocannabinoid system. Could you educate us a little bit more about the system itself and how it all comes together? Because I know that echinacea as a herb also works on the endocannabinoid system as well, and there's receptors that are responsive to it. So it's not just cannabis that has a relationship to this system.
Right.
Can you give us some insights there and help me, I guess, understand a little bit better?
So the endocannabinoid system is exceedingly complex and poorly understood by most, so we'll do what we can.
Thank you.
But it's made up primarily of two different types of receptors, CB1 and CB2 receptors. And CB1, they're both G-coupled proteins, but CB1 is the most abundant G-coupled protein in the brain and also exists in the central nervous system. CB2 receptors are in the brain and central nervous system, but not as abundantly. They tend to cluster in the periphery and particularly on immune cells.
Right.
So these two receptor types interact with multiple different cell types and exist really on every organ system in our body. And they are tasked with maintaining homeostasis. So when you start to understand that this endocannabinoid system regulates mood, inflammation and immune response, sleep-wake cycle, hormonal balance, particularly fertility, the HPA axis, cardiovascular health, whether it's perfusion, vasodilation, digestion, et cetera, it starts to make sense that why interacting with or manipulating sounds like negative, but manipulating the system.
No, it's contextual.
Yes. This system, you're able to influence so many different symptoms or clinical conditions, and then it starts to feel less like snake oil. And it's also an adaptogenic system, for example. So what we see in sleep with CBD and with the way the endocannabinoid system works in sleep is there's both preclinical and human models of improvements in insomnia and especially anxiety-induced insomnia in sleep. However, in healthy individuals who are sleeping well, it doesn't alter their sleep cycles.
Right.
And the same thing with blood pressure. Sure, it will decrease an elevated blood pressure, but it's not going to make someone hypotensive. And even with patients with HIV, because this is an immunomodulator and is immunosuppressive, that's how it's anti-inflammatory, it does not, decrease the immune system or suppress the immune system to the point where it's dangerous, especially in those who are already vulnerable. So there needs to be more research on chemo, but in HIV-positive patients, we don't see that risk. So these cannabinoids, we actually make our own in our body. So we make two main cannabinoids, anandamide and 2-AG, and then we can get these phytocannabinoids from plants, typically the cannabis plant, but you're right, and not always, that kind of add more fuel to that system to help it work a little bit better, and it's all about homeostasis. Even one of the terpenes, beta-caryophyllene, which is present outside of cannabis, but is pretty abundant in the cannabis plant, is certainly considered a cannabinoid and interacts with these receptors.
Right.
It is anti-inflammatory, it influences pain, and it boosts the activity of CBD and THC.